was it? Attention.
Okay, well thank you very much for letting me be here with you today and to be able to come and share some of this knowledge that I've been able to gain. It's been a privilege to be able to learn about you and to work with you the last couple of weeks, and I am so impressed by your business, by all the reviews that you have, by, I feel part of you already, by looking and seeing everything that we do. We have been in business, or you, the PC Penguin, hasn't been in business for almost 2 years in March. And I was doing some research, and some of the statistics say that when you start up a business, most businesses fail within, or not most businesses, about a third of the businesses fail within the first year. And it goes up to within 5 years, about half of businesses fail. And within 10 years, it's about 75% of businesses fail. So the things we're going to talk about today will hopefully make it so that as we work toward those goals of 5 and 10 years and way beyond that, we'll be able to increase our efficiency and ability and use all of the assets that we have. Here's another little thing just saying, within 10 years, the percentage of businesses that have failed. It's pretty interesting. So, time. Everybody has it. Everybody needs it. If you were given $1,440 every day and you couldn't put it into savings, you couldn't shove it in your pocket and save it for later, you couldn't give it to somebody else, what would you do? Think about it, There's a million things you want to do with it, right? You wouldn't just sit around because, you have tons of money in your pocket. Well, time is kind of like money. We've each been given 1,440 minutes every day. And some of that we have to use to sleep. And some of that is nice to have a little bit of downtime. But the rest of it, if we don't use it, we lose it. And so some of the things that we do every day is losing us money, is losing us time, because time is money. And that was Benjamin Franklin said that, hundreds of years ago. And it's the true thing. It's the same thing today. We're in a race. We're trying to get to that finish line, and we're trying not to fail as we do it. And when we trip and fall, we have to get back up. You have a very unique situation here in that you're a home-based business, but you also work out of an office. And so half the stuff you do is done inside of a home, and half the stuff, or probably more like 3/4 of the stuff, is done out in an office. So a lot of times going back and forth between the inside and the office and going, to and from takes a lot of time. It says ordinary people think merely of spending time. Great people think of using it. Oh, good, I got it right. Anyway, you are not an ordinary person. Being able to start your own business is amazing, and it takes so much effort and skills. So how can we better use those efforts and skills to be able to increase our productivity and the customer happiness and employee morale and everything else that we need to do? So we are going to stop wasting our time. We are going to find some answers, or at least try out a few things. Let's get organized. So the last few weeks have been really crazy in my life. It's my last semester of school. I'm finally graduating after such a long time, but a lot of the classes I have really big projects that are due. And it seems everything was building up to these final 2 weeks. And I had papers everywhere, and I was trying to go to meetings, and I forget which day the meeting was on, and I would have stacks of everything all over the place, and I had crazy things going on. I couldn't do homework with my baby awake, and she tried to, write on all my homework with pens, and it was just insane. And one day I just had to stop and sit down and be completely honest with myself and just realize that it was not going to happen. I was not going to get the grades I want if things were still going the way that they were. I had to organize something and get it under control. So I sat down, I used a calendar, and I, put papers in stacks. I tried to figure out which one goes to which class, which meetings I needed to head to, how it would all fit together in the end. And after that point, it may not have gotten a lot less stressful, but it sure was a little bit easier to find out where I needed to be and who I was going to meet with and all the things that made a difference at that point. So, you don't have to be a superhero. There are hundreds of ways to become organized. And I'm sure as we've been talking about time, you think of some of the situations you've had. Maybe a customer has called and asked where their part is. Well, maybe you have it at here, maybe it's still tracking, maybe the people you buy it from haven't even sent it yet. So how much time does it take you to go and find out the customer's name, the computer that they use, the part that they need, then look it up online and try and figure out where it is, if it's been shipped, if it hasn't, how do you contact the seller, all of these things. Or maybe the customer had brought in their computer, but it's just sitting there because all of these other computers are in the way, or, you know, there's so many things that are taking up time. And so as you think of these situations, I'm sure you all have one or two in mind of what was happening, then just realize just a couple extra minutes can save you a lot of time and customer satisfaction. Here's one idea that we've had, that a calendar where everybody could see. It could just be on the wall. This one is actually like a whiteboard calendar that is on the wall directly, and they use dry erase markers and things like that they can make it monthly, they can rearrange everything. But doing something as simple as this can help so that each employee is on the same page, that the people who come in realize that you're not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs, that you have multiple customers, you know, things that you have to be going to and places to be, that they're not the only customer in the world. So even though they want their computer done this very second, sometimes it's not possible. And being able for them to see it and you to explain it is also another way you can save time and money. This one is a little bit more intense with the organization that we have. There are 3 months visible, so it's easier to see where you've been and the projects you have going than today's stuff or this current month's stuff, and then future things that you need to be preparing for. There's also like a cork board that you can pin up things. There's this little guy here in the middle. If you have, you know, thank you notes or invitations to things, or, you know, letters you need to send to people, bills, whatever it is that you have, you can stick them right there, and so they don't get lost in the shuffle of paperwork. They don't have any, you know, holes punctured in them from poking them into things or getting crumpled, things like that. So it's very nice. Here's another one, just little places you can put, you know, reading material or paperwork you're working on. He has hooks for keys, things like that. So this is very nice, but sometimes we don't have, you know, the funds to make something as extravagant, or we don't need the, you know, as much as it has. Another idea, basically the same thing, but this one uses sticky notes and just a plain whiteboard, so you can write messages to each other as employees and you can all be on the same page. One more idea, just a big wall, you know. Sometimes a little more organized or crafty is probably more of a girl thing. I just really loved it and want to do it in my home. This could be a little more manly in a computer shop, and you can just write things, you can make happy faces, customers can come doodle on here while they're waiting for something, who knows. So something that nobody loves but everybody has to do is the paperwork. So, oh, how do I go back a slide? Anyway, paperwork is something that is not fun, but if we take a couple minutes and just use maybe a stick-it note. I know you have a system already set up that has the customer's name and their number and the information of their computer and part and emails and everything else that you need to know. But that's also online. It's in a secure place. People can't really get to it, which is a good thing. But you have to go in and search through it and try and find the name and number and everything like that. And so if you write down the very key essentials and use it to put it on the computer you're working with, or on a file or folder of things that the people need, then it saves you the time of going into the computer and trying to find it. Here's another idea. Instead of using sticky notes, let's do 3x5 cards. And then as you stick them into the place on the side of the wall where the cubbies, where all the computers are, you can just Velcro it above where it is, or use the sticky tack onto the computer. So you're still saving time, you're saving money by not buying all those sticky notes, and a lot of improvement can happen there. Another idea is the little power cords. Everybody brings them in. Instead of worrying about getting them mixed up with somebody else's computer, maybe just stick a little tag on it, write the name of the customer, and you know, less chance of getting them mixed up with everybody else. Happy customers. More than anything else, your happy customers are going to save you time, because they aren't going to be competing with other people. They're not going to be yelling at you. They're not going to be coming in and just making a fuss and big stink, and you're trying to cover it up, or not cover it up, but, you know, make it better. And, you know, all the employees need to be on the same page when some angry customer comes in. When you have happy customers, then the employees are on the same page anyway, and you just keep bringing in the happiness. Trying to figure out where your priorities lie is something that will save you a lot of time also. So just knowing which one, either important and urgent, important, not urgent, not urgent, not important, or not urgent but important. And then as you get those, you don't get this clog up here in the middle. And, you know, that right there is a huge time saver. Just think about that for a second. The only change is that you just a little bit of help right there. Oh, there we go. So this quote basically says that we are all given the same amount of time every day. If you want to be great, use your time. The same amount of time has been given to people like Michelangelo and Albert Einstein and Mother Teresa as we have today. So in order for us to make the best of that time, stop making up excuses, or, you know, realizing that take that couple minutes at the end of the day, even though it may feel like a pain, to be able to just rearrange things, clean it all up. The next morning you'll be set and ready to go. And those few extra minutes in that little brief time save you mounds of time the next day. It's something that we all treasure. We love our time, so let's make the best of it. And as we do so, not only will you be happier, your customers will be happier, your business will be more efficient, and things will keep going. We can make it past that 10-year mark. Thank you so much for letting me come. How long was it? Oh, 12.